Alright, hey guys, and welcome back. As this week I'm going to be taking a look at a kind of obscure and maybe somewhat forgotten about toy line, and that's by none other than the infamous toy company known as Toy Biz. Oh no, there's definitely no two scarier words in the retro toy collecting community than Toy Biz when you put them in the same sentence together. Mainly known for, failed video games and cheap imitation toy line remakes and reproductions. Boy oh boy, delving into the world of Toy Biz can be a scary adventure. But this is from their very well-known line, of course, of the 1992 to 94 animated X-Men series line. And while this isn't the line that you're thinking of, which is usually their 5¼ inch figures that are actually pretty decent, and the X-Men line is one of Toy Biz's more successful lines that they put out throughout the years. This is another thing that was out at the same time that coincided with the X-Men, as it was all the rage, and definitely should have been, because it was a fantastic cartoon, and really helped to bolster so many people's interest in Marvel Comics and in X-Men at the time. So there's a lot that you really have to give credit for to the writers, the animators of that cartoon. And so, as kind of an accessory toy line that came out along at the same time, this is the Toy Biz Steel Mutants line. And of course, in the mid-90s, this is right off of the, right off the hinge of all of the Micro Machines, not necessarily the little cars, but more of the collector series that they came out with when Micro Machines did the slightly larger Star Wars vehicles and like more franchise reproduction kind of vehicles and figures. And so, all this mini stuff, whether it was Mighty Max or Micro Machines or what have you, mini collectibles, they've always been a hit, throughout the toy industry. And especially in the 90s, they were a big thing. So this was no surprise that this came around. There were 24 figures available in all. I have 8 of them here, so I got 4 baddies and 4 goodies. And they're really fun little figures to collect. Some of them are missing their accessories just because, of time and over the years. And they're a little bit worn, but they're fun. They're still pretty posable. I like the fact that they have a good amount of weight to them. And they're just really neat. They're these really cool die-cast steel, steel mutants. Although all of them aren't mutants, so it's kind of weird because you have other areas of Marvel, so it's not exclusively X-Men, but hey, you know what? It covers pretty much the broad range of everything here. So let's start off by taking a look at our bad guys front and center. And let's start off with none other than Victor Von Doom, Dr. Doom. Oh man, now this guy looks really, really good. Really nice green. The detailing on these, I think is really exceptional, even if the paint is worn off. Now he's lucky, he happens to have his little accessory, so that isn't lost. He has his little, I'm not sure what type of a gun that is, but it's a little rubber gun. Little blaster of some sort, some crazy invention that he came up with. And he has his typical, Dr. Doom armor with his steel gauntlets. The coloring's great, looks nice. You can move the heads on most of these. I believe some of them you can't, but you can move the head on him. You can move his arms up and down. And then you can, most of them, oh, I guess on this one you can't. Oh, nope, you can, it's just very tight. You can turn his torso. So they're fairly posable little guys, where you can set them up in little poses, and very cool. I think this is really well done. Even the face, I don't know how well you can see that, but the face is really, really well detailed. Looks fantastic. And even the dimensions too, just like in the comic, he always has, his belt is comically oversized. Like, you think he'd be wearing like size 60 pants, with a belt that size. It's so unnecessary. So this is fantastic. Doom is just, in general, one of my favorite. I don't even call him a villain half the time, but I guess in the truest sense of the word, he really is in the Marvel universe, because he's just so goofy, failing half the time. But as he would tell you, Dr. Doom does not fail. So very cool, very cool. I think they did an exceptional job with Dr. Doom. And now let's move on to one of our lead good guys. And this is Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. And he has a hard time standing sometimes. I just don't know, there's something wrong with his feet or something there. But again, I think this is a good figure. He would have had a little pistol, I believe, here in his hand, which has just kind of gotten lost or broken off over the years. So sorry, I hope you can see him, just he'll keep falling over. So I have to hold him like this. But the X-Men outfit looks good. You know, he's got the little X-Men logo, and that's supposed to be the other X-Men logo communicator up top. The classic blue and yellow, the visor, the hair. You know, I'm sure they got the details all the way down to his jerk attitude. And yeah, Cyclops was never one of my favorite characters because he was always just a spoiled little punk. He was a bad leader, and he was always just like, oh, well, everybody's got to listen to me because, you know, I've got the awesome girlfriend, Jean Grey, and I'm just a jerk, and like, so it's like, you know what, no wonder everybody hated him and everybody loved Wolverine, so. But as far as his little figure goes, he looks great. But, yeah, sorry for the little tangent, but I've just never been a Cyclops fan. I always think that he's kind of dumb. I appreciate his figure, and, you know, he's cool for what he is, but he's just such a boring one-trick pony. But as far as his little figure goes, I think it looks good. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, let's take a look at another villain again. And this is, of course, Juggernaut. Oh, man, one of my all-time favorite baddies. And just a fantastic little rendition here. I mean, there's not a lot going on with him, but they definitely nailed it with what is going on with him. And that's his perfect little bolted-on helmet that protects him from metal attacks. He has his arm armor with his bracers that go around his wrists and forearm and shoulder. The rest of his like solid steel jumpsuit. I never knew if that was like steel or some type of fabric. And then he has the large orange boots. And just so much fun. This is just, I mean, who does not love the Juggernaut? You know, all of his crazy wisecracks, and just such a fun, awesome villain. And they really captured it well on this little mini size. And it looks fantastic. Well, it looks great. That's exactly how you'd expect a little 2-inch Juggernaut to look. So I think they did a great job with that. Alright, so moving right along. Let's just move Cyclops over there so he doesn't fall. Tony will give him a hand. And then, of course, we have everybody's favorite, Snicked Wolverine Bub. So, again, this is another figure that's just done so well. The paint, the adamantium claws, which has about as much detail as you can get on a figure like this. They're not overly detailed, but they're enough, you know, where it looks true to Wolvie's form and character. I think his outfit is 100% nailed down dead on with the yellow and black, the pointed ears, you know, on his mask, his cowl there, the blue boots, the gloves, the black and blue on the boots, the red belt. So they did not miss a beat with this. Totally looks like your original like Marvel late 80s, very early 90s portrayal in the comics of Wolverine, and I think that's perfect. You can just imagine like doing his Berserker barrage and just going crazy and, you know, giving Cyclops some crap. I don't have to listen to you, bub. Just fantastic. So a really fun, really awesome little figure. All right, and now let's move on to one of the bigger and badder and definitely more underused villains in the Marvel Universe with the X-Men, who would absolutely be insulted if you called him a mutant, and that is Apocalypse. Such an underutilized character and very hard to write for, but such a fun, cool villain. I mean, who doesn't remember like the 12-part episode, you know, with like Apocalypse and Bishop, Cable, and everything. So this is great. I think they got his face really good. They got his outfit down, of course, with the A on his belt, so that way he doesn't forget who he is if he loses his belt. And so enemies know, like, wait a minute, the A, I think the A stands for something. Are you Archimedes? So, Are you made of adamantium? No. Do you have the powers of the Abacus? No. Are you Apocalypse? You guessed it. But other than that, I mean, he looks great. Fantastic little figure. Again, they got the details down 100%. I think that he looks good. I can't find a single thing to complain about with this figure. And looks exactly like you would imagine Apocalypse to look. I don't believe he would have had any little accessories, or if he did, I certainly don't have them. But very cool and a very fun little figure. And of course, we have everybody's favorite wisecracking billionaire, Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. And he is missing either who'd had like a little blaster cannon that would have gone on his wrist, which those were all like plastic, so that's why they kind of get broken off and destroyed. And his paint's a little chipped, but overall I still think he looks good. I mean, he's very posable. You know, you can still imagine him in different battle poses. The armor looks good, even though the paint is a little scuffed up and faded, but you know, I mean, it looks like Iron Man. You know, the chest piece, the helmet, the face, the bright red, the different yellow highlights and tones, you know, so I think this is, again, another great little figure, and I wish he was in better shape, but you know what, you don't see these guys very often, all the time, and sometimes this is just the shape that you get them in, which is kind of unfortunate, but still looks really cool. I believe there is a War Machine in the series as well, so I'd love to have them two pair up together. But yes, very cool. Again, another well-done figure in the series. Alright, and now moving on to our last baddie we have here. And he would have been a cool one to pair up against Wolverine a second ago. We have Omega Red. I was encased in ice in Siberia for 80 years. And now, when Mother Russia needs me again, they take the ultimate weapon out of the ice and try to control it once again. But when will you capitalist pigs learn that I cannot be controlled? I will not be put back into hibernation. So yeah, with that face and I guess with that little voiceover, if that doesn't remind you of Omega Red, unfortunately his tentacle did break over the years. I mean, there's no doubt that would have happened. It's just so long and fragile that that thing wasn't going to last. And he only had it on the one side. It would have been cool if he'd had both. But, I mean, other than that, he looks great. I mean, the details on the hair and the face are great. Shame the paint on the knees has faded away, as well as with some of the boots. But again, you know, he's got the trademark bandana and everything. I mean, this totally is Omega Red. And looks great. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the rarer figures in the group, just because he's Omega Red. I mean, you know, he's definitely one of the more forgotten about villains, you know, in the X-Men series, and it's a shame because he's such a fantastic villain, and I think this is such a great little figure that goes along with it. I mean, especially they just nailed the face and the hair. Wow, that the hair is absolutely perfect. That is just perfect. So really superbly well done. And then this is what I mean too, aside from, you know, of course, like Tony Stark and stuff. So, you know, we have who is not a mutant, but I do believe he might have made an appearance in some of the X-Men episodes, and that is Doc Connor, the Lizard. And yeah, so that's kind of strange. I mean, you know, it's not bad because it's all Marvel. And again, I think this is an excellent job at reproducing the Lizard. He has his lab coat, of course, and they even kind of got some of the detail down on the one arm that would rip, because in his human form he's missing that one arm, so the one sleeve would always kind of be like half there. He is missing his tail, unfortunately, but you don't really notice it when you're looking at him head on. I mean, I think he still looks good. It would be cool if he had the tail, but unfortunately he does not. And the facial features look great with his teeth, the eyes, the reptilian scales. You know, his this guy always reminded me of the Hulk a lot. I think they were like cousins, because they got the same purple pants that are ripped up, their clothes are all, always ripped up. You know, they're two totally different versions of themselves. They're both like scientists and doctors by day, and you know, these monsters that they want to try to control, but they can't really control, you know, by night. Or, well, I guess not by night, but any other time when they get mad, or, you know, different things like that happen. So it'd be neat. It'd be a shame for the Lizard, because he would get destroyed by the Hulk, but that's a battle I would kind of like to see, just out of curiosity. It'd be a shame for the Lizard, though. Wouldn't be very fair for him. But especially the lab coat. Man, look at that great detail on the torn-up lab coat. And yeah, this is a really excellent version of the Lizard. Shame he is missing his little tail, but other than that, looks really fantastic. Another job well done. Alright guys, well that's going to do it this week for taking a look at the Toy Biz Steel Mutants line. They're a really cool little line of like 1.5 inch to 2 inch figures, and they're really fun. So if you see them, they're pretty common. Usually I'll see these at like flea markets. They're always at the bottom of a bin somewhere, and they're kind of forgotten about, which is why you see the paint ships, you know, all the time, and they're not something that's really heavily collected. So usually you can find them pretty cheap, and they're just fun to display and fun to collect. I know I'm definitely going to try to finish up the rest of this line, and there are some more rare figures like the gold Wolverine and like his gold outfit, which are a little bit more fun and kind of a chase figure to try to hunt down and collect. So I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at this cool little toy line from Toy Biz with the Steel Mutants, and I'll see you guys back here next time. Take care. Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and you can follow me at Facebook at King of Retro or Twitter at #8ByteBrian. See you next time.